Okay, so this should be working, and I certainly hope it is. This is just basically a tutorial on how to use the Masaniello, and that's actually spelled wrong. It's supposed to be, well, it's supposed to be Masaniello, or Masaniello. I mean, I guess is the right way to pronounce it in Italian. Anyway, we know what we're talking about here, and here's how you use it. I mean, you're basically gonna, if you're doing the manual version, okay, that's the one I can have access to. You're clicking in. Wait a minute. You're clicking in the cells, okay, to track your progress, and we always start here at the 0, at A1. Okay, you put the cursor there. Okay, and the rule is always, if a red falls, you move the cursor down 1. So in other words, if on this we start at 0, that means there's no bet. We're just going to wait and see what falls. Okay, so if a red falls, always move down 1. So if a red falls, we would go down 1, which is here. Okay, and then if a black falls, we always move 1 to the right. So if we're right here, we bet 1 on this bet. Okay, and then the spin that comes next is a black. Always move to the right when you have a black. So therefore, you're going to move here. So once again, if a black falls, always move to the right. So let's say we were here, we're not betting because you see it says 0. Okay, so we're not betting. Then a black falls. That means, remember the rule, if a black falls, always move to the right. So therefore we go here. Okay, now we're going to bet 1 on black. Okay, and then let's say we get a red. So what's the rule? If a red falls, always move 1 down. So then here you go. We go here. We're back to here again. Now we're at 0. So then we're just going to spin and see what falls. And if we get a red, we're going to go here. We're going to move 1 down because the rule is if a red falls, always move 1 down. Bingo. Now we're going to bet 2 on red. Okay. And now let's say we get a hit. Then it's a red, right? So then that means we always move down. Now we have a 3. Okay. And then we get a black. Now, okay, we bet 3 and then we get a black. So then remember, if a black falls, you always move to the right. That's there. Now we're going to bet 2 on red. Okay. And let's say we get a red. Well, if red falls, you always move down. So then that means we're going to bet 4 on red. Okay. And then we get a black. Okay, so then we move to the right and we're going to bet 2 on red. And then we get another black, and that means you move to the right, so we go here. Now we're not going to bet. We're going to spin, okay, and just see what comes out. And we get a black. So then we're moving here. Okay, so now we're going to bet 3 on black. Okay. Now let's say we're here and we get a 0. Okay. If you're in a colored space, black or red, and you get a 0, then what you do is you pretend it's the other color. So in other words, we're in black. If we get a 0, that's the same as if a red hit. So therefore, since we're going to count it as if it's a red, that means we're going to move 1 down and go here. Okay, so now we're not going to bet at all. We bet 0. Now let's say we get another 0. Another green 0 pops up. Okay. If you're on a 0 space and you're not betting and you get a 0, just ignore it and spin again. So we spin again and we get a black. So what's the rule? If a black falls, always move to the right. So then we're going to go here and we're going to bet 5 on black. Okay, and then we get another black. Well, we just go here. Now we're going to bet 9 on black. Okay, we get a red. Okay, red falls, you always move 1 down. So we're going to go here. We're going to bet 8 on black. We get another black. We're going to go here and bet 15 on black. Okay, we get a red, move down, bet 15 on black. We get a black. Boom. Now bet 30 on black. We get another black, and we're off the edge because we can't move any farther to the right. And then you start back over. And that's how it works. The idea is to come off the edge, like this right here, that edge, come off of it on any of these red spaces. So come downward, come downward. That's an edge. Same thing with the black. If you come off of it to the right, come off of it to the right, come off of it to the right, you'll automatically make 20 units. If you come off it to the right, come off it to the right. The only time you don't, the only time you lose 100 is if you land on this spot right here. And what it'll represent is if you're landing on this spot, it means that there were 10 blacks and 10 reds in the sequence. It was a perfect balance between black and red over 10 spins. And that's when you lose 100 units. Otherwise, you're going to come off the edge, one of these edges, and win 20 units. Okay, and so that's how it works. Now, with that being said, that's a very simple system, and what will happen is we'll discover that the loss occurs. Loss can occur, frequently. In other words, it can happen. It's going to happen. You're going to see it. It'll happen. Okay, so you don't have to always continue to bet. Like, in other words, if you at every betting point, like if you're here and you're down 100 units and you bet set, or you're down, I don't know, let's just say you're down 5 units, okay, and you bet 7 on red, okay, and then you get a red, okay, so now you are up 2 units and it says to bet 9. Now, do you have to risk your 2 units of profit and bet 9? No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can take your 2 units of profit and start over. Just start over. You don't have to keep risking all the way down and making it a piss fight. I mean, excuse me, a battle over, 20 units. Like, you have to hit 20 units. You don't have to. Okay, on every bet you have a decision as to whether you can whether you want to start over or not, and you have the freedom to do that. Okay, and I'm working on ways of betting other bet selections besides just the EC, but how to make it work for like double streets and streets, and splits. And it's just I have to change the numbers, based on that. Like, I think I can do double streets and just double the numbers in here. Like, I start off at 1, and anytime you see 1, we just leave it. But if it goes here, we're betting 4. Here is 6. Here's 8. Here's 8. And instead of losing 100, you'd lose 200. And but then you'd have the advantage of the double street, which there is a significant advantage there. So I'm working on it, and I really need the ratios that make up these numbers. These are not actually whole numbers like this. They're just decimals, but they're rounded. They're rounded up or down or whichever's closest. I don't know, but they rounded it. And if I knew the formula, I could really be dangerous, because I can make it virtually continue. It doesn't have to stop right here. It can keep going, and it doesn't have to be over 10 bets like this is. Like, this whole thing is set up for 10 bets. What if I made it for 30 bets? It would change all of these numbers. They would change. And that's why I need the formulas, because what we really need is like at least 26 spins. We need at least 26 spins. This is only 10. So I need the formulas, the actual formulas for this. So if anybody knows Italian or knows where I can find the formula for the Masaniello system, please let me know, because I will be able to make some really fantastic stuff if I can get the formulas behind these numbers. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.